The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show. Your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Tonight's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a call at 1-877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football.
And welcome, everybody, to the inaugural edition, at least this season, of the Chris Ash Show, live here from Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. Chris Carlin alongside Eric LeGrand, the birthday boy from this past weekend. How we doing, E?
I'm doing awesome. It's great to be back for another season, Chris.
You're getting old, but you still look young.
I am getting old. I feel it.
And the head coach of the Scarlet Knights in his second season is Chris Ash. Coach, great to have you with us. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's great to be back. It's going to be a fun year.
Should be, and no doubt. And I'll tell you what, if the other night was any indication, you can certainly tell that because your football team played very, very hard and very well against the 7th-ranked team in the country. It came up short 30-14 the final against Washington, but I would think overall, from what you saw after watching the tape, you had to be pretty pleased for the most part with what you saw.
Well, we were encouraged, would probably be the best description. Disappointed because we didn't want to lose the game. We wanted to have a chance to win the game. Our guys did play extremely hard. They were physical. They played fast. We just made some mistakes that beat ourselves, and that's what we have to stop doing to win football games. But I was really encouraged mostly by our football team at the line of scrimmage with the O-line and D-line play.
Yeah, when you see the physicality of the O-line, D-line play, from the jump start, you can see that you guys were not outmatched. How much do you put on Coach Parker and his program in the offseason now to work these guys to get big like that and being able to handle the number 7 team in the country, as you guys did?
Well, it's everything. We talk about player development so much in our program. We want to recruit at a high level and recruit the best guys we can, but you've got to be able to develop players. I think this last offseason, year 2 in our offseason program, there's been some huge gains, some huge development with a lot of players, and it really starts up front. That's where we want our football team to be built.
Our telephone number, we want you to be a part of the program tonight. Call Coach with your questions as the Scarlet Knights prepare for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan this week at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. You can also tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio for the coach. All right, let's start on the defensive side of the ball. Very solid throughout the course of the night, and it was against a team that was one of the highest scoring teams in the country last year at 42 points a game. The majority of their weapons were back. First of all, pass rush. It felt like that defensive front had a pretty good night from what at least you see from the layman's perspective. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah, it starts with stopping the run. Our defensive philosophy begins there, and it starts with our ability to control the line of scrimmage and control our gaps and things like that. And we did that for the most part. I was probably most pleased with our run defense. I think there were 4 runs over 10 yards in the whole game, and most of it was in the third quarter in a particular drive with some tempo and unbalanced formations that got us. But I was really pleased with our run defense. That was a big area of emphasis here this whole offseason and spring ball and training camp, and I thought it was improved. Now we have to sustain that and to continue to get better from week to week. But also our ability to put pressure on a quarterback was pretty good. We didn't necessarily get the sacks, but we hit that quarterback quite a bit. And that does make a difference, and it will make a difference as we go through the season if we can continue to do that.
Now I want to talk about the linebacker play a little bit. I know you've said that you guys aren't deep at that position, but the progress that they've made coming into the offseason, it was well known and well showed out there on the football field. Can you talk a little bit about how they've developed in this offseason?
Yeah, it really starts with the man in the middle, Deontay Roberts. He was elected a captain because of the work ethic that he displayed here this offseason. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's more mature, better football IQ, understands the system a lot more, and can play a lot faster on Friday night. He tackled better. He could get off blocks better. It played with a lot of poise and got our defense, for the most part, lined up in the right spots. And really like where he's at, and it really starts with him. But the other ones around him, Trevor Morris has improved. Ross Douglas, it was really his first game of playing here on defense since he's been with us, and he did some good things.
Once again, our telephone number, 877-384-1869. And, Deontay is a guy that strikes me as a kind of guy that would have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder coming into this season. Felt like last year he didn't play to the capability that he had, and he looks bigger, he looks the part, and like you said, obviously that made an impact on his teammates who voted him captain.
Deontay looked at last season, and he's like a lot of other players. He really went out and played Big Ten football and probably wasn't ready to at the point. He was still a year away, but that's all we had. He had to go play, and he's a lot better football player today because of what he went through last year. He learned a lot. He knew he had to get bigger and stronger. He knew he had to use his hands better and be in better football position and better fundamentals overall. And to his credit, he's worked on every single one of those issues that he felt he had last year, and he's a better player right now today.
And we were talking a little bit about the pass rush earlier. What about the run defense? As you see, a running back like Myles Gaston, they had to rely on him in the passing game because you guys stopped him up front, holding, I believe, to 84 yards rushing. Can you talk a little bit about the run defense?
They've got two outstanding tailbacks, and we're going to see a lot of great tailback tandems here in our league as we move forward this season. But we have to improve our rush defense. It was a weakness for us last year, and a lot of it has to do with, again, just being bigger and stronger and utilizing our hands and being in a better football position and getting off blocks and tackling better. There's a lot that goes into it. And I feel a lot better right now today after watching us go out there and play against a very quality opponent like we did with Washington. And I thought that was probably the strength of our defense, was our rush defense last Friday night.
All right, how about the offense? Offensive line, Coach, frankly, you ran the football pretty well in some spots the other night, and it seemed like that line was getting a pretty nice push up front, especially when you consider that they had an All-American on that other side of the ball.
Yeah, Washington has a great defense. They're big. They're built the right way. They're big up front. They're physical, and they're fast in the back seven. They tackle extremely well. Was really concerned about that matchup of our O-line versus our D-line. It was not a very good matchup last year in 2016 when we played them out in Seattle. But I really feel like Friday night our offensive line played the best game that they've played since we've been here, and it wasn't even close. We protected the quarterback for the most part. We only gave up one sack. We ran the ball exceptionally well. We opened up some good holes for both Gus and Rob Martin to get some yards. So I'm pleased and very encouraged by what I saw out of our offensive line.
And what was it like for you, Coach, now getting to see some of these new guys on the offensive side, that you got to see in spring and training camp, but get some game action out there, like Gus Edwards and some of the wide receivers, people that you haven't seen in a Rutgers uniform in that actual game?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest unknown going into the game, is how all these new players were going to handle the bright lights and national television and a quality opponent like Washington. But I'm very excited about what I saw. Kyle Boland showed extreme discipline and composure throughout the whole game. Gus Edwards did a great job. At tight end, Miles Nash played his first game. Jerome Washington played his first game. Nakia Griffin played really his first game. At wideout, Damon Mitchell, Bo Melton, Everett Wormley, all those guys played in their first game. I think we had a total of 22 players that played in their first game from a scrimmage for Rutgers in a Rutgers uniform. So there was a lot of unknowns, but really happy with what I saw and how they handled that moment. And now we have to improve upon that.
Coach, we've got our first question from Twitter tonight. I had left out earlier, by the way, if you're in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube, of course, you can come right up front and see our man Jimmy in the Scarlet Rutgers shirt over here, and we will get you to the microphone and your chance to ask Coach a question. This one comes from Broccoli Rob, Coach. He wants to know, was the tempo control part of the game plan? And when you take a look at the fact that you had the football as long as you did, because they are such an explosive offense.
Yeah, that's our plan. That's the way we need to play good defense. We talk about our plan to win. We have to play great defense. And a great defense is a product of a really good offense. And be able to control the ball, get first downs, control the time of possession. Now we have to score points offensively if we're going to do that. It's no different than a hurry-up. If you go really fast, but you're not getting first downs and score points, what are you doing? And it's, if you're going to control the football, and you're not scoring points, what are you doing? We have to score more points. But that is our approach right now. To be able to play great defense, we've got to be able to balance that and complement each other by controlling the football and offense. Now we do have to with that being said, we don't want to be a complete ball control offense. We need to, and we weren't able to last Friday night, we need to be able to create explosive plays and take shots down the field to be able to put points on the board. And
Coach Gill, I know he's gone to offense, but as the head coach, you see last year a lot of times you guys were in 3rd and 7 pluses. When you get those, 3rd and 3 and 2, 3 and 3, how easy is it more to be able to call a game or see, open up the playbook maybe a little bit more to take chances?
Well, I don't know if it's any easier to call it. You still have to get a first down, but I would much rather be looking at 3rd and 3 than 3rd and 8, at the sticks, I can tell you that. That's probably an area we did not do very good in the game last Friday night was in that area on 3rd down. We were overall pretty good. We were 9 of, I think, 19 on 3rd down, which, is pretty good. You can win games with that. Washington was 3 of 11, so you can win games with that type of 3rd down production. But in that 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 range, we've got to do a little bit more there and be able to get first downs in those situations, and we could not last Friday night.
And you didn't take advantage of it, but you put yourself in those situations to begin with, which was a huge improvement over a year ago, that you were able to find yourselves in those 3rd and short spots.
Absolutely. It's your ability to run the ball on first down. First down success obviously measures your 3rd down success, because the more 3rd and shorts and 3rd and mediums you're in, the higher percentage your 3rd down is going to be. And we got into those more here last Friday than we did, the majority of last season. So those are all positives. Now we've got to convert on the majority of them.
A big emphasis, I know, this offseason was also the special teams and getting, the right guys out there. How hard was it to go through training camp and finding those right guys to run down on the kickoff team, play on the kickoff returns, play on the punt returns and punts? How was it going through the process of finding those guys?
Well, it's never easy unless you have a lot of depth. When you don't have a lot of depth, it makes it more challenging. We're a program that wants to build our special teams with our best players and play starters on our special teams. We want them to be used as a weapon, and to do that, you got to play your best players. But when you lack the depth on offense and defense, those reps start to add up. That's when injuries start to happen. That's when the fatigue starts to set in. So we've got to be very cautious about that, and we've got to be able to build a solid 2 deep at most positions, so we can rotate some guys on special teams and not have our starters, our top 11 on defense or offense, go out and take every rep on offense, defense, and special teams.
Steve checking in on Twitter at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio to tweet your questions for Coach Ash. Wanted to get your thoughts on the crowd the other night, the atmosphere that you saw on opening night, especially before school started. You had a lot of the students out there.
Oh, the crowd was awesome. I thought it was a great environment in the stadium for game 1 with school starting. The students showed up, and they were electric. It looked like they were having a great time. It created tremendous energy in the stadium. I said this the other day to the media. The Scarlet Walk before the game was the best that there has been since I've been here. The attendance was off the charts. It was great. When those players get off the bus and see the massive amount of people that were there and all enthusiastic and pumped up for the game and their arrival, I mean, that makes a difference. It makes a huge difference, and our players appreciate that. I appreciate that our whole program does, and that's the type of environment we want to create every Saturday.
And we got to see the little Jersey Shore theme, War at the Shore. Can we be expecting a little bit more? Any more themes coming up for the season?
Yeah, man, that's left up to the administration. I've got nothing to do with that. They've had their boats and sand castles, and it was great. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it, but I don't have anything to do with that. I'm trying to figure out how to get guys to tackle and get off blocks. That's about it.
Well, once again, your telephone number to talk to Coach Ash is 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. Tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. We'll preview this matchup with Eastern Michigan coming up this Saturday, 3:30 at High Point Solution Stadium. And, of course, if you're here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, great crowd, by the way, for our first episode of the Chris Ash Show to start the season. Come on up front. See our man Jimmy. We'll get you on the air. We'll take our first time out. Later in the show, we talked about the offensive line just a little bit. A.J. Blazik, the Rutgers offensive line coach, going to join us as well. So that will definitely be entertaining.
A.J.'s here again?
He's here again.
I thought we banned him after last year.
I believe it was the free food situation that might have...
He grabbed the mic and wouldn't get out of here.
I remember.
Yeah.
That's great.
We'll take a time out. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We have returned. It is the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey. Our first edition of the 2017 season. Rutgers, of course, the other night, falling against the 7th-ranked Washington Huskies. And this week, they've got Eastern Michigan coming to town. And we'll talk about them in just a little bit. But I wanted to ask you about their head coach, Chris Creighton, who's somebody that you know pretty well, right?
Chris and I know each other.
Yeah.
I went to Drake. And he was the head coach at Drake years ago, and I got to kind of build a relationship with him when he was there. And he does an outstanding job. He's a great coach, and he's done a great job at Eastern Michigan.
They've been a pretty consistent football team. They got to a bowl game last season, so they will present a good challenge out of the MAC this coming week. Now, just procedurally, the way your team has kind of handled themselves now, they've gotten into school week this week, first time for some of the younger players that are on this, and dealing with that. I'm wondering, what do you tell some of those guys as they're dealing with it for the first time, and the veterans on this team, how they help prepare them for what this schedule is like? Because I think a lot of people don't even realize it's pretty much from 6 a.m. until, late at night, depending on when your classes are.
Yeah, we actually have been discussing this quite a bit here in the last few days, with Tuesday being the first day of class. It's really important for not only the newcomers but the upperclassmen to get into a routine at this time of year. This is our first traditional week with classes and game week and all that goes into it, and it is challenging, very challenging, and it wears the players out until they get into a consistent routine. They get used to the schedule. We had players that were working out at 6 a.m. today. Then they had class, and then they had academic responsibilities with the academic advisors. Then we had practice, and then they got study halls tonight afterwards. So it's a busy schedule, and until they get into a routine that they can get enough sleep and take care of their body, eat right, stay hydrated, and all those things, and plus try to study some football, it can be challenging.
What was the biggest thing you said, the positives of moving practice into the afternoon instead of doing it in the morning?
Well, we're all creatures of habit, and I go back to my experiences as a coach. That's all I've ever done until last season, is practice in the afternoon. We went through the morning practices. I said I would give it a try. I think it was well documented that people thought that our football team was tired on Saturdays. I'm trying to look for a lot of explanation for that, and one of them I think was just a lack of sleep throughout the week. We had players that were getting up early for practice, and then they had night classes until 10 o'clock at night. And we all know college students aren't going to bed at 10:30 when they get home. So when you start to do that over the course of the week, it wears them out. And we're just trying to find ways to build a schedule that allows them to maximize the sleep at night and the recovery from practice and be prepared physically and mentally for Saturday. That's really what it comes down to.
All right, let's hit a couple of telephone calls. Our telephone number, once again, 877-384-1869. We will start with Mike, who is in Paramus. Mike, how you doing? You're on the Chris Ash Show.
Yeah, doing great. Thanks for having me on, guys. So just wanted to make a quick point with the game that we played on Saturday. The special team was the one part where, when you look over the past couple of seasons, special teams has almost been a part of Rutgers football, where we've won games because of extra point blocks. Let's say against Michigan, October 4th, 2014. We've always been that's been kind of our strong suit. It seems like over the past couple of seasons, we've moved away from that. Now, if you look at all the stats, the third down efficiency, fourth down efficiency, first down, we really were, right there with Washington, if not better. But where we kind of lacked was maybe getting, stuck in the 5-yard line, the end zone, not really having that opportunity to get to the kicker. Just seeing how we're doing there, and just want to say thanks again for all the improvements you made to the program. You could really see that in the first game, so thanks again, Coach.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. But to answer your question about special teams, we spend an insane amount of time on special teams. This season, this off season in spring, and what we could do in the summer and in training camp, we spent more time on special teams than I have in any program in my coaching career. We are a much better team on special teams right now. I know a lot of people don't think that after the Washington game because we gave up a punt return for a touchdown. But that's not special teams. What that is missed tackles. That's a defensive issue. We got some defensive players on our punt team, and we missed some tackles. We didn't get the punt that we wanted necessarily, but we still have to be able to tackle a guy and get him down. And it has nothing to do with schemes. It has everything to do with fundamentals. And that's a defensive deal that we work on nonstop. And those were defensive players that missed those tackles. So it's not a special teams problem, so to speak. We did miss a field goal. Disappointed about that at the end of the first half. I thought we had a great drive offensively and got down in position to maybe get 3 points and go into halftime tied. It didn't work out that way. We do have new specialists. We got a new kickoff guy, Justin Davidowitz did a great job. Boomed a great opening kickoff for the game. For a true freshman, that was outstanding. We have a true freshman long snapper right now, Billy Taylor. He did a phenomenal job in his first game. He was really nervous about going out there on national television against a team like Washington and did an outstanding job with all of his snaps. We've got the new punter. We've got the new place kicker. Ryan Anderson's got a very strong leg, and that can be a strength, but also can be, a detriment. And it was on that particular play because he outkicked our coverage, and those are things that we have to get better at.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that drive going into half on the offensive side. How happy were you with that drive, being able to actually run the ball, I believe, 3 times in a row for 10-plus yards and then being able to get downfield, set yourself up for a kickoff? Can you talk about that last drive a little bit before half?
Yeah, it was a great drive. When the drive started, Jerry and I were on the headsets talking about let's just try to hold the ball and make sure that Washington doesn't have a lot of time left if they get the ball back. What we didn't want to do is put the ball in harm's way and have a turnover. It was a 10-7 ball game, and we felt really good about how we played the first half. We wanted to make sure it stayed that way going into halftime. Well, we popped some runs, and next thing you know, we're at the 50-yard line, and we're like, well, let's go try to get some points here. And that's what we did. We got ourselves down inside the 30, and that's really the range that we thought we could make a field goal. We were on the right hash, and it didn't work out. But it was a great drive at the end of the first half. To be able to go the length of the field like we did and put ourselves at least in position to get points. Now we got to get those points.
All right, let's hit another telephone call, 877-384-1869. We're going to go to Nick. He is in Maryland. Nick, what's going on? You're on the Chris Ash Show.
Hey, first of all, Coach, you're doing a great job. I love the way the team looks this year.
I appreciate that.
Number 2, you've been on the job almost 2 years now, so you've had a chance to get acquainted with Rutgers football history. If you had a choice going back 150 years to pick one – hey, wait, guys, to pick one Rutgers player in history to be a freshman on your squad this year for you to coach 4 years, what player would you pick?
Eric LeGrand.
Hey, there we go.
Not even close.
There you go.
Awesome.
We talk about having the right attitude with our players, and Eric has an unbelievable attitude, so we'll take all those we can get.
You got to see his eyes light up on kickoffs, especially because he gets itching. When we're in the booth, he's really getting excited for you. You can tell he wants to just get going.
It's because I know how important those plays are in the game. And like I said, sometimes they get overlooked, but I know how important they can be. So.
Well, we kept talking about our kickoff team was going to open the season. It was going to be the first play of our 2017 season. It was going to set the tone, and we got to pin them by a true freshman. Yeah. We had 4 true freshmen run down on the very first play of the season, so we were very excited about that.
All right, let's take our next telephone call. That is Nicole. She is in Piscataway. Nicole, you're on the Chris Ash Show. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks. I just wanted to ask you a quick question this summer and everything, and why you chose Kyle over Gio, who's, proven to be a good quarterback and, earned a spot, and then why Kyle's captain when he's his first year here.
Yeah, it's a good question. We've been asked that a lot. Coming out of last season, obviously we weren't happy with the results, and there was open competition for a lot of spots, and the quarterback one was one that we knew we had to get better. We had to get that stabilized and get that fixed and get more production out of that position if we were going to be able to move this program forward. And it was an open competition really between Kyle and Gio. Jonathan Lewis was in the mix. Those guys were the ones that probably took the most reps. And at the end of the day, Kyle beat Gio out. It doesn't mean Gio might not play as we go through the season. It's awesome to be able to have a backup quarterback with 5 starts under his belt like Gio has, and have the leadership and belief and confidence of his teammates to be able to go out and perform. But Kyle beat him out fair and square through training camp. He just was more consistent, more productive, and he did it from start to finish. And he earned the respect of the players because of that. And he was elected captain by the players. It wasn't my vote. It wasn't the coach's vote. It was the players' vote. And it's because of what he's done since he walked on campus. And that's no slight to Gio or any other player in our program. I think Gio is a phenomenal young man and could go out and lead our offense and provide the production that we want. But, we had to make a tough decision, and Kyle was the one that we went with because of his consistency throughout training camp.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have an opportunity for you in just a little bit to ask your questions to the coach if you're here in attendance at Quaker Steak and Lube. But when we do return, we will visit with Rutgers offensive line coach A.J. Blazik. That's next. This is the Chris Ash Show.
ESPN's Neil Everett here. This college football season, Nissan's putting you in the driver's seat. Go to NissanHeismanHouse.com. Build a customized Titan wrapped in your school's colors. Then register for a chance to win it. Or you can win a trip to the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Enter the Nissan Heisman House Sweepstakes. Take on today. Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends 12/8/17. Open to residents of USDC 18 and older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House Sweepstakes. Sponsored by Nissan North America.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with 0 sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
Download the all-new Rutgers Game Day app today. Up-to-the-minute news sent right to your phone. Interactive game updates, official sideline gear, live stats, free live audio, comprehensive game day maps, real-time social streams, and more. Available in the App Store and Google Play. Get all the latest in everything Scarlet Knights athletics.
He's got it for the Rutgers touchdown!
The Rutgers Game Day app. Download today.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey on Route 1 for the first edition of the Chris Ash Show here in 2017. I want to thank you for listening on 1450 WCTC AM in New Brunswick, and of course, watching on ScarletKnights.com on our vision. Colin Osborne and the crew doing a phenomenal job. Right now, we welcome in Rutgers assistant head coach and offensive line coach, A.J. Blazek. Coach, how are you?
Doing good tonight. Doing good.
Get up there on the mic. This hasn't been a problem for you before. Come on.
Doing good.
Good to see you. And, you know, we're coaching, we were talking about it a few minutes ago. Your offensive line was getting a pretty nice push the other night and running the football in some occasions. Give me your impressions about how that group played.
You know, they raised their bar. You know, Coach said it's the best they've played since they've been here, and I completely agree. We got a lot of work ahead of us. Got little things that we got to clean up, really detail what we do. You know, we were able to go out, play fast. They gave us, our guys did a good job preparing. But, you know, there's always room for improvement. And like Coach said, you know, you can be excited about the ground we've gained, but you still got that W out there. You got to go take care of business. And so that's first and foremost. You know, and we can say we played good and we can build on that, but we got to take care of business and win the football game.
Hey, Coach, what's it like getting the new guys ready to play? You know, try to get everyone in line. One, you know, as 5 people, you get 5 offensive linemen, you get 3 new guys in there. What's it like trying to get everyone on the same page, that same synergy? You know, that's how you see usually offensive lines develop, like Dallas Cowboys offensive line. They've been together for a while now. Tennessee Titans are building. Oakland Raiders. Now you see, how do you get those 3 guys now in the mix with the 2 other guys that have already played?
You know, I always say that's the one fun thing about offensive line. You got 5 guys that got to be on the same page. One guy makes a mistake, they all look bad. It's, you know, and you can talk about that a lot, but those guys got to spend so much time together. And that's not just at practice. That's watching tape. That's their communication. You know, it's funny, just, you know, Dorian's here tonight, but him and Tariq, their communication is different than the other side with Applefield and Kamal. And to watch those guys at practice and you push it, and that's, I made a comment the other day, that's the biggest step we've taken is our communication amongst that group. Guys aren't just going up, running football plays. Situationally, they're aware, hey, 3rd and 2, watch the pinch. They're talking about the stuff that we watch all week. And I think that's the biggest thing, is it takes time for those guys to rep and rep and rep. And, you know, I think we got 20 old linemen right now that really Coach Ash just talked about reps, being able to get as many reps as you can, stay healthy. And so when we're at practice, we're not having to bang those guys, you know, just to get the reps in for the day. They can stay healthy, and then when they go, they're hitting at 1,000 miles an hour.
Let's talk about Dorian Miller. We're going to talk to him in just a few minutes here, but he was voted captain. His leadership, what he brings to your offensive line in the intangible department.
I tell you what, first off, I'm so proud of Dorian. You know, as a coach, you spend a lot of time with these guys, and football is a big part of what you do, but there's so many other things that you go through with them. Life, school, football. You know, now his girlfriend's parents are here, and I didn't recognize him tonight. I felt horrible. I promise him I won't do it again. But, you know, with those guys and what he's come, his football has taken another step. You know, when guys get into their 4th, 5th year, kind of plateau, like a weight room. They're not going to get so strong, and they're going to push to get more. But the older they get, those get smaller. And football-wise, he's taken a huge step. But his leadership, you know, when he doesn't say a whole lot. But when he speaks in our locker room, guys listen, because the way he handles his business every day. And, you know, it might be a bunch of guys talking all the time, but when he speaks up, guys zip it. All right, we got to go do it. And kudos to him for earning the respect of his team to be voted captain.
And developing an organization, so you could, as you just talked so highly about Dorian, what is it like trying to find those guys and how each guy ticks and how you need to coach each guy up each and every day?
That's awesome, and that goes back to having 5 guys again. You got 20 in a room. You know, every guy is motivated differently. They learn differently. My parents were both teachers, and that's one of the things that we talk about a lot when my dad's around is, you know, I got to coach one guy differently. One guy I might have to chew his tail every day just to get him locked in to go. Another guy, if you chew him and push him hard, he's going to clam up, and he's got to have one-on-one. And same way with their learning style. And some guys are walkthroughs, some guys are videos, some guys have to test. You got to find the way that they all do that and then put it together.
Your center, Jonah Jackson, a guy that I know you've been high on for a very long time since you got here. Developmentally, getting into the starting lineup this year, where have you seen the biggest improvement in his game in getting to this point?
Well, this might sound interesting. His biggest thing is, in the words, poise. Something when I played as a young player, you play out of control, and his poise has really come along for a guy who's not played a lot. And I think being with Dorian and some of the older guys are in that group, they don't freak out and panic, and you don't see them holler. They're kind of one of the quieter lines that I've had. I mean, they don't chew each other a lot, but what that's done is let him play more under control. If you were to watch the game really in detail, his first 2 drives, he was playing kind of wild and top-heavy at times, but as he settled in and he adjusted right away, because the one thing he brings, he's kind of the O-line's connection to all the skill guys on our team. He hangs out with a bunch of guys, and he's got influence with those guys. But he's also, if it's going to get down and dirty, most guys on our team, they're going to say, I want that guy to go with me. So he's very physical, loves that part of the game. So if we can rein that in, he's just going to keep getting better.
What was it like in the film session when going over to Washington? I know all season been going up against the same guys all spring, all summer. Now you finally get some new action, and then you guys went out there and you performed very, very well on the offensive line. So what was it like in that film room, breaking it down with the guys?
In the room, when the guys come in, we lock and go now. When we have our hour of class or our hour of meeting time, it's locked, and the questions are much different now than they were a year ago. A lot of times they were just trying to learn our offense still. Yeah. Now they know the offense. They're going, Coach, hey, 62, he's capped by the safety. Can we go inside footwork so this guy doesn't cross my face? They're asking what I call Algebra 2, Algebra 3 questions.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I like the football talk. I like it.
Eric's got it. But as a coach, that's what you want to hear. If you're worried about assignments, we got the wrong guys on the field. And mental errors are unacceptable on a game day. And you know that. We either worry there's coaches asking too much or they're not studying enough. And so that's the first part, to find that mix. But the studying, they've really, Dorian, those older guys, they've taken the reins. They're in there watching film before meetings. They always get a little bit of stuff done at dinner afterwards. They'll try and get tidbits to where they do that together. And I really think that's why they're playing a little better right now.
Kamal's an interesting guy because he's a converted defensive lineman. Really just happened last year. But you saw a lot early from him potential-wise, and all of a sudden he's right out there playing for you and getting that experience last year. How have you seen that pay off so far this season?
He kind of got thrown in the fire early on. And I think JJ got hurt. He had to go mid-season. He had been working his way in. A lot of people ask about the 2 young guys right now. We're working them in. You got to build that confidence. And so when he got thrown in the fire, he literally, I just said he was going out just running plays. And now he'll see stuff. Applefield next to him really helps him because Appy's an older guy who's been in there a little bit. Lets him play a little bit more calm, but he's starting to see things outside of his little with blinders on, his little area. And that's made him play so much faster. I mean, he's a guy that he can be in bad position, and they joke about it in the weight room. He'll be straining at the end of a lift, and they'll be like, come on. And he just – and about rip stuff out of the wall. I mean, he is freaky strong. And if we can get him to play just kind of fluid, in motion, he's going to be an unbelievable player.
And what is it like when you have to convert a defensive lineman and then coming over to the offensive side of the ball, like over your career? Have you seen that, with some of the guys in the very beginning of the stage of that?
Yeah, and Coach Ash, Coach Burnham, and I, we talk about a lot in recruiting. I like recruiting D linemen. They got a little attitude to them. They got a little nasty to them. Sometimes old linemen ain't a bunch of nice guys, and you gotta have some grit and some grind. And so, you look at kids we've recruited have been good D linemen. Take Owen Bowles. Owen Bowles barely played O-line. He's gonna be a heck of a player, and you just see that physicality in camps and stuff. So you take those guys, and if you can get them, sometimes offensive linemen process too much.
Yeah.
Remember, as a defensive guy, you pull the trigger and you go. I mean, it's all reactionary. And if you can find a lineman that'll play that way, hey, pre-snap, here's my rules or what I got to do. And then when that ball is snapped, they cut it loose. And you want a guy that wants to get a sack on a 3 technique every time.
And I can tell you, Coach, being a defensive line, when you get one of those offensive linemen that are just nasty and gritty, man, it's the worst, man.
You hate them.
It's the worst. Oh, yeah. You get a bunch of those guys, Coach, I like where you're headed.
Right.
A.J. Blazik with us, Rutgers offensive line coach. All right, so you've been in New Jersey almost 2 years now. So, last year we kind of asked you about this, and, good answer, but have you found your go-to spots yet? You guys are in the building all the time, and I understand that. But anytime that you've had a chance to get out a little bit, Yeah, I got to get a slice here. I got to go there for my hot dog. You got any spots yet that are go-to for you yet? I'm always fascinated by this, especially from the Midwestern guys like you. You know?
Yeah, as far as I'll eat anywhere. I don't have like a favorite spot. I've never had a bad meal.
Right.
Some are better than others. As far as spots, I love to, when our family, when we get time, we'll hit the shore. My wife loves, we'll be up in the Poconos.
Mm-hmm.
We take advantage of the area. You grow up in the Midwest and you drive 5 hours to a big city one way, 5 hours to a big city another, and we go to Philly for a day. We've toured around a lot. We've been east and west. We've been south. Next summer we're going north. We really take it all in. It's a new part of the world.
You see, I'm on that new trek down in Philly too, and I'm trying to figure out these places. Yeah. You come with me. We'll get some cheesesteaks.
Oh, hey, all right. I've been to 3 or 4 spots.
All right.
I don't pick favorites.
All right. Beautiful.
Well, as we're talking about food, I know you're over here laughing at my mozzarella sticks. What is your favorite meal of all time?
Man. I love Mexican food.
Mexican? Really?
Yeah. I love tacos, burritos, chips and queso.
Okay.
They don't do queso right here in New Jersey.
What?
You can't get queso.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It
the chain places don't do it as well. I agree with that.
Details, little things.
I agree. It is all about the details, isn't it? In football and in queso, apparently. Before we let you go, we got Dorian coming up here. What should we ask him?
Ask him what Coach Blazek's like on a bad day.
All right. We'll find out. AJ, thanks for coming by tonight.
Got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll take a timeout, and we will visit with Rutgers captain guard Dorian Miller in just moments. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey for the first edition of the 2017 season of the Chris Ash Show. Stay with us.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
For Rutgers fans, Saturday is game day. For business owners, it's another day in your work week. UPS gets that, and that's why they offer Saturday delivery so you can keep things running smoothly, even while your customers drop everything for the game. Stay on top of your game. Ship with UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with 0 sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
You couldn't miss that wedding, birthday party, or whatever event you felt obligated to attend. So you missed the game. And more importantly, the game program. Not to worry. IMGProducts.net has got you covered with official programs and yearbooks from many of the nation's top schools, plus conference and NCAA championships. Visit IMGProducts.net to browse the hundreds of publications available. IMGProducts.net. We've got you covered.
We're back on the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey. Rutgers getting set to take on Eastern Michigan this coming Saturday, and it's a 3:30 kick at High Point Solution Stadium. And we're joined right now by Rutgers captain, guard Dorian Miller, who's been good enough to come down here. Dorian, good to see you. Thank you for coming by. How are things? How was week one, training camp, all that? Now you get a little chance to breathe, but then, hey, school starts all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it just feels good to be back on the field. Being able to hit another color, because I know you was talking about that before. That's a big thing. Just being able to go against a quality opponent and really, play in front of a crowd like we had and on national TV like that was pretty special. So.
But, now you're a veteran of the team. I feel like you've been there for a while, 4 or 5 years. This is your 4th, 5th training camp. How do you talk to now the younger guys that are having to go through this?
Yeah. As Coach Blah said, sometimes I may not come off as the rah-rah, the loudest guy, but I'm a big, pull guys to the side type of guy. In training camp, we stay in our rooms, and I like to maybe bring guys in or visit their room, put our feet up, kind of have casual conversation. It doesn't always have to be in front of people.
Yep.
It doesn't always have to, be in front of the team. I'm a big believer in truly getting to know guys and beyond the surface and, not just being able to yell at them in practice and tell them what they're doing wrong, before I get to know them as people. So I think that's a big deal.
And it's interesting. I was talking to somebody about leadership among football players recently, and that's something that they said, that it's not what you do that everybody sees. It's about what you do that maybe nobody sees behind the scenes, that kind of thing.
Right.
And when you have those kind of conversations with guys, I imagine as one of the leaders of the team, they take that a little bit more to heart when maybe if you have to get on them about something or if you have to maybe, just explain something differently to them. And sometimes I imagine you have to act as a little bit of a translator for the coaching staff too.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the more trust you earn with the coaches, the more they're able to kind of, pass down information to you and that allows me to kind of be able to help some guys some more. And at the same time, I like to just relate to me. I remember, walking into the Hale Center for the first time, going through the summer workouts and, feeling like, wow, I really got to do four more years of this. It's pretty crazy. So, just getting through just even those times, and really being able to push through and know, even if you're a scout team guy, just know you get to go up against the ones every day. That there's no better work, there's no better time to get better than that. You're going against the best guys on the team throughout the whole season. So, just try to pass along information like that to them. I think that really helps out a lot.
Can we talk about the development of you, over the past 4 or 5 years, going through different coaching staffs now? What are some of the things that you've learned with your time here at Rutgers that you'll probably take with you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think just being able to, lean on one another. The relationships I built, here at this school, are truly, they'll be with me for the rest of my life. The guys on previous teams and, the guys on this team right now. We've been through a lot. Coaching changes, whether it's just at the position level or at the head coaching level. I just think, being able to lean on one another when, we literally had no coach. We were, you come to the facility and, there's no head coach, there. So just, holding guys accountable during those times and being able to lean on each other was, something I'll be able to take with me for the rest of my life.
Talking with Dorian Miller, Rutgers captain. What did it mean to you to get voted captain by your teammates?
It meant a lot. More than anything else, any other accolade you could receive as a player, and the way we do it, it's voted by the guys on the team, and to have the respect of my peers and my teammates is really honorable and truly amazing. I'm the type I just put my head down and go to work. It's not a popularity contest for me. It's not ever been about more than football. I grew up, in a family that just we watch football every Sunday. Both of my parents are from Oklahoma, so deep football roots. And I was just always taught, just to respect the game and love the game. And over the years at Rutgers, I think I just built a reputation of being able to put my head down and go to work. And it's just truly honorable that guys recognized that and saw that and decided to vote me captain. So.
And a lot of people probably don't know, but you go way back down from when I was there getting recruited with your brother. I remember you being the same size as me when you were in the 8th grade. And I remember a senior in high school at the time. You were like the same height. But what's it been like being able to play close to home? I know you said your family is from Oklahoma, but they're living up here in Metuchen and being able to have you to be able to go home, but also to be able to be right here if you need something.
No, it's funny. I remember when Quaker Steak opened up.
Exactly.
Literally from,
right here.
10 minutes down the road or 15 minutes down Route 1. So, I've been going to the Hale Center since I was in the 6th grade. My older brother was getting recruited by Rutgers. His top 3 was Rutgers, Penn State and Oklahoma. Decided to go to Oklahoma, but it just means a lot to be able to represent this state, represent this university. You know, I'm Jersey through and through. You know, I wear it proudly, no matter what we go through as a team. You know, I'm always I never doubted my decision throughout everything. You know, I always knew that this was the place for me to be, and you know, thanks to guys like you. You know, really, thanks to guys like you and the guys that came before me. You know, the Eric Fosters, the Brian Leonards, the Ray Rices. You know, the guys that really put this program where it was. So.
All right. So he told us to ask you, what's Coach Blazek like on a bad day?
You know, what you got to love about Coach Blaz is that he shows up every day to coach his hard. And, you know, he truly, you know, you can feel it through the way he coaches. He really wants us to be successful. And, you know, I just respect that every single day we're going to get the same Coach Blaz. You never, you know, every time I walk off the field, I know he's giving us all he's got. And, you know, sometimes you like that, sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day,
I was going to say, you were doing a nice job of dodging the question up until that point.
Right. You know, yeah, but you know, through any family and any you know, group of people that are going to be close and want to do something successful, it's not always going to be pretty. So, you know, he tells us that, you know, there's going to be disagreements, or there's going to be times where we may not like each other, but you got to get over it and develop a callus and know that you know, we all got one thing in mind, so one goal in mind.
I wanted to ask you that as well. You know, we're asking you a lot about the past and things like that, but what was it like getting it out there on Saturday, man? Again, I mean, last Friday night, be able to get it going with the new guys out there.
Yeah.
You guys, like I said, played very well and able to develop the rushing game, things like that. You know, what was that like?
No, it felt good. It felt good. I mean, you know, as you guys can see, the offense, you know, definitely looks different. You know, and just from a personnel standpoint, we had a lot of, you know, guys that came in and played for the first time that were older guys. So I was just happy to see those guys touch the field after, you know, going through spring practice with some of those guys and going through training camp. And, you know, on top of that, like you said, just being able to, you know, I touched on it a little bit earlier too, just being able to play on national television with my guys and with the crowd rocking, you know, it's truly a special feeling. And be able to do it in New Jersey, you know, 15 minutes from my home, you know, you couldn't ask for a better feeling.
Well, Dorian, listen, congratulations on being named captain. Best of luck this season, or this week and the rest of the way. And I'll tell you, you're a pleasure to watch, and it's easy to see why these kids voted you captain.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Dorian Miller, Rutgers guard with us. We'll take a timeout. We come back to Quaker Steak and Lube in moments. We'll finish up with the head coach and get a preview of Eastern Michigan in moments. This is the Chris Ash Show.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
Introducing the Rutgers Fan Exchange, powered by Tick City. Can't make it to a game and don't know what to do with your tickets? Looking for the best deals on the biggest games? Buy and sell tickets for all Rutgers home games through the Rutgers Fan Exchange, the only place to find seats from within the trusted Rutgers community. And you control the price. Every order helps support Rutgers athletics. Visit the Rutgers Fan Exchange at rutgersfanexchange.com.
Few moments left on this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Rutgers getting set to take on Eastern Michigan this coming Saturday, 3:30 at High Point Solution Stadium. All right, Coach, this is a team in Eastern Michigan out of the MAC. Very good conference, as we know, and it's a team that's had success recently, and they've got a lot of their players coming back. Ian Erickson, their running back, was Division Offensive Player of the Week in the MAC. They've got an awful lot of weapons, and they open up the season with a 24-7 win over Charlotte. Tell us about your impressions of the Eagles so far.
Yeah, we'll start just with the league, the MAC. We have a tremendous amount of respect for that league, the coaches there, the job that they do. Every time they go play a Power 5 school, like a Big Ten school, they get up for it. It's like their Super Bowl. And, you know, if it's not every year, it's every other year. You see one of those schools beating a Big Ten school, and you know, we talk about we don't want to be on ESPN for that, you know. And to make sure that doesn't happen, we got to go out and play a great football game. We got to play better than we did last week. This is a football team coming into our stadium that's coming off a bowl game in 2016. First time in, I think, almost 30 years that they went to a bowl game, and that kind of tells you what they've done in that program. They've done a great job. They've got an outstanding quarterback. They've got several playmakers around the perimeter of their offense that can make plays down the field. They go with tempo, so it's going to be a tremendous challenge. And then they've got some good players back on defense that run around really well, got some length, and rush the passer, and cause some problems.
And when you first come into your first meeting of the week, after you flip the script and change it over to the game plan, what do you tell the guys to get them motivated for this game, get them pumped up, and take the juices, everything out of last game, and now focus on this game and who your opponent is? Well,
it's really kind of the same approach every week, but we need to make sure that our players are aware of our opponent this week, what these guys are capable of, what they've been able to accomplish as a football team here in the last year, and all the good players that they've got coming back. It's not a team where our players are, have been used to watching them on TV and know their players inside out. It's not like Washington. It's different, but these guys have talent. And we've got to make sure our players are educated on those matchups and are excited about going against the guy they're going to go against for 4 quarters. But really the focus this week, it's on us, and that's really where it's at every week. It's our improvement, making sure we fix our fundamentals, fix some scheme issues, some mental errors that we had last week, and continue to prepare consistently, go out and practice consistently, and make sure that we're getting better.
All right, let's get a quick question in. We've got about 90 seconds left in the show. Sir, what's your name? I'm sorry, say it again. Oh, of course, Jim. What's going on?
Battaglia practice facility and the almost brand new Garuti weightlifting facility. What kind of an impact does that have on recruiting when you bring recruits in and show them this type of commitment from people that really care about Rutgers?
Yeah, it's had a tremendous impact on recruiting for the exact reason that you talked about. Right now it shows that Rutgers, our program, our administration, our donor base, our fans are committed to building a top-notch football program, and that's what recruits want to see. They don't want to go to a place that's subpar or it's not committed and not able to build the things that you need to build to be on the same par with the other teams in our league. And that's what those 2 facilities have shown, that we are committed to building this program up and being competitive in this league.
All right, Jim, thanks very much, Coach. Best of luck this week, week 2, Eastern Michigan at 3:30, and I know you want that crowd to be there early and loud.
Oh, yeah. We'd like to create what we had last Friday night. It's a good football team coming to town. It's going to be a great game, and hope everyone shows up and has a great time.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, E.
Best of luck this week. Want to thank everybody involved with our broadcast back in our Rutgers IMG Sports Network studios, John Essick, everybody from Our Vision, Colin Osborne, Tim DeMartin. We also have Jimmy Gill and Hasim Phillips from Rutgers Sports Information, and, of course, our producer and engineer, Paul Schrager. For our entire crew, Eric LeGrand and the coach, Chris Ash, this is Chris Garland speaking. Thanks so much for joining us from Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey for the first 2017 Chris Ash Show.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.